This is our motto, join the people on the move. We used to have a vision statement called to be self-supporting by 2005, but we've already passed that. We became self-supporting in 2003. What that means is that we generated more revenue from our businesses than we received from the government, and we were quite proud of that. A little bit about the Osoyoos Indian Band. We're located in the South Okanagan in British Columbia. Right along there is the border. Our reserve is 32,000 acres. We have 450 band members. We're also a major player in the South Okanagan economy. We produce a number of jobs, a lot of jobs. We also produce 25% of wine grapes that are produced in British Columbia are produced on our reserve. Right last summer, last June, we opened up the Desert Center. It doesn't show up very well in here, but this is our resort. There's the winery, there's the golf course, and down below here we have our campground. So it's a little bit of a better picture. It's the whole South Okanagan have basically adopted the Adobe style in their architecture over the last 15 years or so. It's a close-up of what the Inky Meat Cellars looks like today. We serve food there. It's Aboriginally themed. You can go there, have musk ox, bison, moose, deer. Also, just to mention that again, that we're one of the host wines for the 2010 Olympics. We're quite proud of that. We're associated with, it said Vincor International, but now it is Constellation, which is out of Rochester, New York, who is the largest wine producer in the world today. This is what the Desert Center looks like in the back. This is rammed earth. This is one of the biggest pieces of rammed earth in North America. It's what the Great Wall of China is made of, and one of our statues. It's one of the golf course that's at the Spirit Ridge area right now. We have actually 2 golf courses on reserve. This one is a 9-hole executive. And just a little picture about the campground. We have a facility there that holds up to 200 people. It has a swimming pool, workout area, things like that. Camping's not even camping anymore. Half of these people that come in, they live in $500,000 RVs. They ask for direct line telephones to their units, TV, you name it, they ask for it, and they get it. They get Wi-Fi. This is a picture of the vineyards. This is the oldest company of all our companies. It was first established in 1968. We produced a number of winning wines throughout the whole region in the Okanagan. Our winery is actually, the Inky Meat Cellars winery has won over 350 awards in the last 5 years. We've won a couple of New World Awards. We like when we go to Napa Valley and we beat them. That's what we like. Don't tell the people in Napa Valley that though. Our construction company. We do residential, commercial, industrial. And they've been around for quite some time also. This is one of our first off-reserve purchases that we did make. We actually moved it on reserve for tax purposes. It's the Oliver Ready Mix. And that's finally doing well. It's a tricky business to get into. This is our golf course, that's down in the Oliver area. Again, the southwestern look. Our store. This is really the money maker for us, is land leases and holdings. We have Vincor International. We actually own that building. Right now, we're in the process of doing a $4 million expansion. It'll be a 175,000 square foot building. Right now, it's 125, so we're adding 50,000 square feet. Vincor leases that from us at a very good rate. They also lease land for us for agriculture, for for producing grapes, but we're taken to a different level now. We're basically no longer becoming the landlords. We're going to become the owners of a lot of these leases, of a lot of these vineyards. We do a management contract. We basically fourfold our return on that. Basically, we got some residential developments, other residential developments, things like that. Out of this company, this allows us to basically purchase land, go into other business opportunities off reserve, things like that. This is where we make a lot of money. It's one of the projects that we've been working on. I was talking about the vineyards. We're going to be doing about 200 vineyards in the next while. This is also, this one here is the second phase of Spirit Ridge that we're going to do. We're starting later this year, and it's 130 acres. This here is an industrial park that we're working on. This year we're going to be putting in about $1 million worth of infrastructure into the building. We have it looks like we're going to be having another anchor come into that are willing to do business with us. It's a mobile home manufacturing type of business. We're quite excited about that. Right now, right there, that's where Vincor is. So we're going to basically have it residential. We're going to actually have a section there for residential, for low-cost housing to provide housing for people that are going to be working there. Housing is a big problem in the South Okanagan. We're going through a huge economic boom in Alberta and BC. Rest of Canada is not, but the reason why is because the oil, and BC is almost seen as Alberta's playground, especially the South Okanagan. This particular project that we have going on here, it's also going to be green friendly. It's something that you have to start thinking about in the future because of all the things that have been happening. It'll have geothermal heating. It'll have corridors for animals. It'll have spaces to have plant life, things like that for those animals to live on. Basically, what makes OIBDC successful? Well, I'd say it's our organizational structure, policies and practices, communication with the membership, perseverance, access to financing, and relationship with neighbors. Our organizational structure, we're actually in the midst of really changing it now. Like Chief Ben was talking about the limited partnership. We're going into that direction as we speak over the last year or so. The main reason why we're doing that was for taxation purposes. So I'll show you what our corporate policy, not our corporate policy, our organizational structure looked like. We had the Osoyoos band, the general membership, and chief and council, housing committee, and then we had the band member, the band governance, education, and we had OIBDC. All reported to the OIBDC board, reported to the chief and council. The OIBDC reported to the board and advisors, and then our companies. We had committees on our boards. One was basically, we had subcommittees for some of these companies. We also had the finance committee, which is, I would say, probably, I'll talk about in a little while. This is what our structure looks like, generally how it operates. We have our OIBDC council. It's going to change in the next while, but we have our human resources, our chief operating officer, which is Chris Scott, who is a very bright individual, but not as bright as I am, but he's very astute. He's been in business for close to probably 35 years. He has a number of big projects under his belt. These are the companies that we operate underneath that I was talking about, and there's myself. This is the new structure. This is the first time we've shown it. It's in draft form. This is what our limited partnership will look like. Basically, we have our membership, we have council, we have each individual company, okay? They're the general partners. Together, they'll make a limited partnership. The reason why we did that is because we were becoming so exposed in the media. You having your chief going and telling, the media how much we're paying dividends to community members and things like that. it was just a matter of time for us to become a flagship for somebody in Canada Customs Revenue Agency. We got audited a few years back and from the provincial government, and it wasn't fun. And then after that meeting, Clarence says, I don't want to be paying any more taxes. Find a solution. So this is the solution we came up. It allows each company to be in a limited partnership. The Osoyoos Union Band is 99.9% limited owners of that particular limited partnership. So when revenues come into these companies, okay, say $1 million. Okay, out of that $1 million, 0.1% goes back to the company, and the 99.9% goes into the limited partners. Under the structure of the provincial taxes and the federal taxes, these companies, the limited partner is tax exempt on taxation for dividend, for corporate taxes, provincial taxes, and we're quite happy about that. And a lot of First Nations are going that direction in Canada right now. Policy and practices. Our main practice, if you want to do business with us, be prepared about our due diligence process, or practices that we do. Don't be surprised if we'll ask you if you've been sued before, or you're being sued, or have you broken any environmental bylaws. We'll look at your feasibility studies. We'll look at your environmental screenings. We'll ask for bios on your key players. We'll also ask, we want to see your financial statements for the last 5 years. Internal controls. We have a number of internal controls. We have policies on internal rate of return, debt to equity. We have a finance committee. A finance committee is probably the most powerful committee that we have on the whole organization. The finance committee has pretty much almost the final say. It takes it to council eventually. When council basically, if it goes through and it's vetted through and follows the policies, council will always, 9 times out of 10, will say yes to our recommendations. Human resources management practices. We have a human resources committee that we work with. She looks after all the heartaches with the employees. And a business practice. We have a really good reputation right now with a lot of businesses. We deal with some of the biggest companies in the world. We're starting to deal with Jimmy Pattison out of Vancouver's businesses throughout Canada. He's everywhere. Constellation, Vincor, Bellstar. And another success is communications. Basically, I just say communicate, communicate, communicate. You got to communicate to your membership what you're doing, what you're working on. Be accountable, be transparent. These are some examples of past reports that we have done. Basically, just the chief talks about what we've done in the past, how results were for the year, what we're doing, what to look for. You know, basically show our past performances, statements, and we make it really simple. Clarence always calls it res language. Put it in the res language. The reason why is because 99% of your population are not accountants. This basically, we also show this to the community. Since we started doing business, you've seen the growth in our revenue, and that's all from businesses. We take money from here, we transfer to there for social programs, things like that, education. Basically, this shows our net worth over the last, from 1991 to 2006. And you can see the real growth is starting when businesses started happening. And we produce this once a year. This is full-time jobs on the reserve. Right now, last year was 501. We're doing the numbers now. It's going to be around 600 to 650 range, I believe. Overall, part-time jobs, you throw part-time jobs in there, We're looking at roughly around $900 to $1,000, 9,000 to 1,000 jobs produced each year. And each year we also throw out a dividend report to the community. Basically, how the company's produced, how they produced the year before, what their contribution, what they contributed to the dividend. And basically, what this does also is it makes the managers accountable to the community. Sorry I'm rushing through this, but I was given the 5 minutes like 10 minutes ago. Perseverance is another one. You got to have really good workers. Myself, Clarence, and Chris, we probably work 60-hour weeks. That's probably what we do. The workers that we have, they have to have really good work ethics. Sure, we're not perfect. We'll have employees that we'll have problems with. Access to financing, we have a very good relationship with the bank. We actually have 2 banks we deal with. We have received favorable rates. We receive actually prime minus now. Term loans, less than, we don't need security actually anymore. What doesn't work for us is band politics. It comes in basically 3 different forms. Problem is we're a small community, 450 community members, 300 roughly on the reserve. It's hard for us to separate that. It is really hard. It comes from us from council, members, and employees. For council members, if you get a council member who's really passionate about one particular business, okay, and he basically goes and something's not working right for him, or you do something that he doesn't agree with, he'll often cause problems in the management team. He'll go to the manager, micromanage, try to micromanage. It causes problems there. Members, everybody thinks that they're the perfect business person out there often. Tell us how we should do it, things like that. We've had members in the past who write letters to the government trying to reverse decisions on land designation votes. But the thing was is that it's the government that actually did it, and they said that we were the one that was doing it wrong. It's just all about education. Employees, if you have a band member who's an employee, it's often, sometimes they get political. They always try to take that extra, they ignore the whole process, the organizational chart, and jump to the chief. And the chief always, he's a politician too also. So he has to make sure that he's looking after his members. But that's one of the problems that we really face. What I'm trying to say is that politics, you can't get away from it. Not with us. We're small. We face it on a day-to-day business. We deal with it. Like somebody was saying this morning, how are we going to deal with this? Throw out a report. We did that. In our last 3 months ago, we threw out our annual report. At the same time was the new election was coming through. But I was working on this report prior to. And the opposition was saying, oh, the band's broke. They don't know what they're doing. And then it was really funny. I didn't know about it. The next day I threw out my report, and the guy changed his whole strategy on the elections. Okay, just a summary. Have an organizational structure that works for you. Have sound policies in place, finance and personnel. Be accountable and show your transparency through communications. Perseverance, access to financing, and politics is a reality that we have to work with.